right, everybody. This is an impromptu live stream that I'm doing because I just got my Microsoft MVP announcement and woo! So excited to be a Microsoft MVP. Thank you guys very much. I've been working on this for like 5 years. I'm going to touch on some of the tenets. If you're thinking to yourself, what the heck is an MVP? How do I become an MVP? And trying to help you guys go through some of these things so that you don't spend as long on if you're trying to become an MVP, the number of years, digging into it that I did. So let's go over and let's just kind of touch on those facts. So jump into the stream. All right. So this is my YouTube channel. But Microsoft MVP program is a way that Microsoft recognizes all the people that are out there in the world working on that are actually digging in and working on the Microsoft products, helping the communities out. They're responding to blogs or speaking at conferences. They're doing YouTube videos like this. They're taking time out of their lives to go out there and help further the community. Now, you may be saying exactly what I was saying, is that that's my job. I work 60, 70, 80 hours a week doing all of these things. Like, I want to become an MVP. That's what I did like 5 years ago. And that's good, right? Like, if you're doing these things as it is, that's awesome. You're really kind of set and primed, and you know a lot about the Microsoft stack. You can, you're ready to start that process. But there is some kind of key components there that you have to be aware of. Number one, the biggest one is anything you do towards the MVP has to be helping the overall community and not just your company. So if you're working on, you write a number of blogs, you write best practice documents, you do videos, you do trainings, you do all of those things as part of your day-to-day job, and the public's not available or able to access it, or people outside of your company aren't able to access it, odds are highly in favor that this isn't going to count towards your MVP, right? So if you want to do these things and you want it to count towards your MVP, the biggest thing you can do is start posting and doing these in a public forum. Look for the Power BI user groups. Look to create your own blog. Look to start your own YouTube channel like this. Those are some of the big key things that I really did wrong when I was working on my MVP. Was I wasn't doing any of those things in public. I did those things in private, and that's impossible for Microsoft to track, and it really runs counter to what the MVP program is. You start doing those things, you build up a body of work inside this space. Your next step, once you have a significant piece out there, and truly the first step in the actual MVP process is to get a Microsoft employee or another MVP to nominate you into the program. And then that nomination has to come from a Microsoft employee, or it has to come from an existing MVP. Once you get into the program, you're going to have to go through and you're going to have to document all of the things that you're doing. And they're looking for a breadth of work out there that is, it's technically focused, but it's training, it's enablement. They actually have an entire presentation around the whole thing. I'm not going to jump into that. Because like Betsy Weber and all the other people that are involved in the program, they do a real good job of explaining it. But once you get your nomination, you're going to be invited to these monthly calls, so you can start to hear all the different details on it. They'll give you a real good in-depth overview as to how you become an MVP, what are the next steps inside of that, and they will continue to coach you on what you need to do in order to ensure that you either get your MVP or know where you might be separating yourself from actually becoming an MVP, right? So like myself, I was doing everything internal for years, and while I had last year we had a huge training that went from 50 people, actually turned out to be 600 people attended this basically this mini conference, but because it was all internal, it didn't really count towards my MVP, right? So when I started digging that, started to learn what I needed to do, I shifted my focus so that the emphasis on my work was I still work my 40, 50, 60-hour weeks, but those 10, 20 hours I was doing in addition when it came to documentation or training or best practices, I did that in a much more open form. I did that on my time. I did that with my dime. And that really helped, pave the way. Now, I'm pretty excited. I just got that today. I don't know exactly what tipped me over the edge, so I'm hoping that I find out on that. But I am super excited to be an MVP. Thank you guys very much for watching the videos. Thank you for reading my blogs, going out to my website, checking out all the tools that I've put out there for you. I hope that you guys find these things as useful and helpful as I do, because I know I use these things every day, and I figure if these are things that I'm using every day or recommending other people to use every day, then it's probably a good thing for others to have. So we're gonna just again, thank you guys very, very much for all your support. Like and subscribe to the channel. I got tons more stuff going out. Now that I got the MVP, I don't want to lose my MVP status, so I got to keep this going for years and decades to come. So super excited. Woo! Data Platform MVP. Thank you guys very much. Signing out. Bye-bye. Where am I going? There.